Thank you so much. Thank you. Most of this will be coming as we go along, and we're definitely going to have fun today because it's all about the fathers and their sons and all that. Without the fathers, there will be no son. And God has made it that way. But I want to say thank you. Mrs. Natu, the mic is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the privilege and the opportunity to attend this forum. It's really an honor and a privilege. Let me start with these stories. Last year, this whole journey started last year. A day before Father's Day last year, it was so funny. In fact, I had a very beautiful experience with my husband. We were at it. You know, sometimes couples are at it. And at one point, I stepped out of the house. I was like really upset, but I knew I had a very important day tomorrow, the next day. The next day I came in, I woke up in the morning, did the usual, gave him breakfast to eat and all of that, and I said I'm off for an event, Father's Day, the first chapter. Now, that day I learned something. I heard men speak. I heard men speak from their hearts. They spoke about their mothers. They spoke about their wives. They spoke about their children. Sometimes men want to cry. Sometimes men feel very sad. Sometimes men go through a lot. And I learned something that day. I learned to be more patient, to persevere, to tolerate. They are happy. Sometimes they are not. But I learned to, I became more empathetic, that's the word. And I became more patient. So on this very day, we decided to say, okay, we want to make this every day. Men have to speak. It's always about the women. Yes, I'm a woman, you understand. But behind me are lots of men. Mother's Love is a product of teamwork. Every single person standing behind Mother's Love is a man. I tell you the truth. There are times that I'm like, okay, it's not working. You know what? We need to. But the men will say, come, let's come together. We'll stand together. We'll go through it together and rough it together. Today, we're celebrating fathers. And we are talking about, we are looking it to relate to the boy child because the boy child has been neglected. Even my Bible says, man is the head of the home. So if we invest time so much in raising up our girls, who will be the boy or the man or the husband that will be the head of that home? And this encouraged us to organize an essay competition. And we had white officials mark them, but I was able to go through some, and I really felt, I said, wow. But there was a particular one that touched me. It was even during the essay, during the Boy International Day for the Boy Child. The boy stood up and said, if I don't have a father that is responsible, how do I get a father figure? We're all quiet in the hall. On this day, I want to appreciate every single father sitting here. Especially in this time, it's not easy. It's not. But we and my team want to use this opportunity to appreciate you, to thank you for raising wonderful boys. We are so proud of the boys. I mean, the children that took part in the essay, we're so proud of them. And we're so proud of our daddies. And we said, you know what? Even though we tried to reach out to a lot of organizations to support this, and everybody said, no, we only support women. We don't support men project. And we said, you know what, no matter what, let's try and see what we can do for our fathers. And to God be the glory, we are seated here. So thank you very much. Please, I want everybody to stand up here. And I want the mommies to clap for every daddy. It's not easy. Please, daddy, stand up. I beg you, stand up, please. Let every mommy clap for every daddy. Yes, even the boys too. Clap for your daddy. It's not easy to be a daddy. Thank you.
No, let's reverse it. All the daddies sit down. All the women stand up. All the daddies sit down. All the women stand up and applaud them. All the women, please stand up and applaud the old fathers. Yes, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are fellows. And so say all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, you may be seated. Thank you. Good. Journey has started, and we'll get to talk more about the male child. Male child faces the same kind of challenges that the female child faces. We can't really, on a scale of preference, say weight faces more, but challenge is a challenge. That's the honest truth about it. Thank you, Hanati. Quickly, I'd like to call on one of my favorite Egmons, who is also into my kind of business. He's an actor, veteran actor, writer, director, to just come here and just talk to us. He's somebody who has talked so much about the boy child, and he's been following a Mother's Initiative, Mother's Love Initiative for quite some time now. I'd like to call, if your hands are not too busy, please join me in welcoming Mr. Norbert Young. You see, he's working like a principal. I should say to say a principal for weekend, oh. No, okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, and happy Father's Day. I am a father. God bless me. God bless my hustle. And God always keep me responsible. Women do a lot, and men do a lot more. But women take all the credit, and we don't mind. You know, when you ask the children, who bought this for you? Mommy bought it for you, for them. How did they get the money? That question is never asked. So we leave it at that. We don't begrudge anybody. We only have ourselves to fight against. I am a man, obviously, as you can see. I was genitally mutilated. Don't look so sad. It's not so bad. I am circumcised. Oh, no, not go laugh. Oh, you didn't get it. I agree. Everybody's wondering, how was he genitally mutilated? I am circumcised, which makes me a very virile man. That's supposed to be a joke. Hey, everybody feels too tight. Mona, relax. When a man says, I was genitally mutilated, he means that he was circumcised. But when you say a woman is genitally mutilated, that is the Ikpi core that we are fighting against. We don't want women to be circumcised. Everybody is fighting against it. But to lessen tension when you're in such places, you use such terms like, I am genuine. But as an actor, I'll make my face very, very sad before I say it. So everyone will say, oh, how did it happen? Ew. It simply means I was circumcised. And it is recommended that all men should be circumcised. It's in the Bible, right? On the 8th day. Anyway, you are all welcome. It is obvious that I'm a man. I have wife and children. And the truth is that most of us men, we were not brought up the way we would have been prepared for the responsibilities we carry. If you know what I mean. When we were children with our sisters, I'm a last born, but not a very privileged last born because I did everything that my sisters did. I swept the house, washed plates, did everything, cooked, ground pepper on the grinding stone. We didn't have grinders then. I did everything. I cooked everything, ground beans for akara, beans for moi moi. I did all those. So I was not the last born that was spoiled in any way. I realized from then that I was not adequately prepared for the role I am playing now. As it is, most of us are learning on the job. You know why I say this? Women at the age of 18, they are ready to get married. Very ready. Physically, mentally, probably a little fall short on psychology. I'll tell you this. When we were young, some boys I know growing up with, they had nothing to do. They play ball, go to school, come home, play ball, shout at their sisters, shout at their mothers, and they, my son, my son, my son. As if son is a special breed of child. I do not agree with that at all. So, while the boy is being rascally, running all over the place, the girl is at home being taught the economy of the house and the politics of the house. So the girl will always be more sensible than the man. There's no, till today, my wife is more sensible than I am. More tactful, more patient, more cunning. You know? When I say, I want to buy this thing, I like the color red. My wife says, oh, very beautiful. Oh, red is good, oh. But don't you think that... No, I want red, I want red. I've just been making noise as I've been brought up. No, okay. It's okay, buying red is good. When I'm going to buy whatever I said I was going to buy, I will buy the color that she mentioned, subconsciously. So they rule us. We must never forget that. But we pray, we have the reasonable and the sensible ones to rule us, to, like potty, they mold us, you know, that kind of a thing. It's not always bad, I tell you the truth. It's not always bad. Sometimes we enjoy it. When they let you be the head of the house, it's because they want you to be happy. They can remove it from your hand anytime. So what I'm going to say to parents that are younger than me, bringing up your boys, please domesticate them. I do not believe that a boy is better than a girl. As a matter of fact, I've said this thing so many times. In my secondary school, there was one particular girl that never let any of us see first position. Never. In the 5 years I spent in secondary school, she was always first, and by a big margin. She's a commissioner in Delta State today. You know, so our women, I say this, I beg you, do not feel that you are not complete until you have a male child. Do not feel so. And it is because of this mentality that you people carry, that is why boys think that they are better and can treat women anyhow. It is a very wrong thing. I know for certain, before my mother died, I will send money home. Yeah, it's my responsibility to send money home. But will money go to the market? Will money buy drugs for her? Will money take her to the hospital when she's ill? No. But my sisters, they took their time to always visit my mother. I don't have time. I'm busy. You send money. But you see, boy, we are like that. I think that's the way God made us. We are like that. We don't care. But the mother seems to love you better, the sister. But you see, I hope you people are getting this. Girls were trained for the role they are playing now. Boys were not adequately trained for the role we are playing now because they gave us a false sense of maturity that you must protect your sister anywhere you go. So sometimes you go there, your sister will look for trouble. You want to go and defend her, they will beat nonsense out of you. And when you get to her, sorry, but you must defend your sister. Which power you want to defend my sister now? Sister that's older than me? But we did all that. We were not well equipped, mentally especially. We could be strong in body, big and the rest, but your mental ability to handle situations and take direct, reasonable charge of the people that you brought into your life. Most of us, most men, I know that we are scared to get married. Say, how can I go and carry somebody's daughter? How am I going to take care of her? How am I going to do this? She starts bearing children. Will I not run away? So please, we should train our boys well. We are holding the short end of the cane right now. We should train the boys well and let the girls know that there's no way they are inferior to the boys. Once again, happy Father's Day. And thank you, women that tolerate us.
Thank you very much. One more time, big round of applause for Mr. Nobedion. It's Father's Day, and I think that clap was not just... All right. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of one of my own. He's the director of business for Association of Voiceover Artists. We call him Mezzi, but his full name's Michael Nabuchi. It's nice to have you here. Michael, thank you. He's a typical Igbo man. Please clap. And you see the way he's wearing that cap. You will know that, oh, Igbo. Igbo kwenu? Igbo kwenu? Igbo kwenu? Ekene mono. Ayi, share wambi. Share wambi. Mutane mukuna nang nagesheku. Muria dainaji. Yakabata yewa. Nagesheku kuna nang. To shike nang de sanda zuwa. Nagesheku. Ala jasa bana. Yawa. We're going to look at a movie right now. Why are you all looking at me funny? Yes, I am a Nigerian. I know. I'm obedient. Okay, you didn't hear that from me. Okay, we're going to take a clip now. It's a clip from The Horrid Child. We'll just take a look at the video and then we'll come back and we'll have some discussion.
Constantly, I'm hurried. Increasingly, I feel pressured. Every day, I am pushed to the heights I'm not ready for. Reminded of the need to finish early. The writing, the spelling, the vocabulary. They are above me, but I must memorize them. My parents work so hard. They want the best for me. They ensure I get the best education. My mother always reminds me of how fortunate I am. My father always reminds me of how much he has sacrificed. Always they say, you must work harder, be the best. You can do it, go for it. The schools have to be impressive. They have to show that they can make it happen. They say to my parents, you couldn't have made a better choice. We have a proven track record. Our pupils are most brilliant. Your child will have an excellent performance. To ensure this happens, teachers are under pressure. So, my teachers make me bear this heavy burden. Everyone claims to want the best for me, but no one considers what I want. No one asks how I feel. No one cares to know. My childhood, it's of no importance. Play, absolutely unheard of. Not that I'm a child, shouldn't I be allowed to think like a child, speak like a child, reason like a child, do what children do? So when I become an adult, I might put away my childish things. My mind keeps spinning. My head is heavy. I feel so suffocated. I feel so trapped. I feel so helpless. Who will free me from this captivity? Who will free me from these societal expectations? Who will preserve my childhood? Can the government protect me? Can enforcement of policies help? Is anyone listening? Where do I go from here? Who will listen to my voice? Who will understand my plight? Should I turn back to the source of my existence? Yes, I should turn back to them, to the love that produced me, to the love that nurtured me. That love will understand me. It should. That love should feel my pain. It will.
Okay, I just met somebody and I've been hearing about the school. One of the schools is on Bode Thomas in Surulere, and I just got to meet the guy. And he's going to be talking to us about the Horrid Child and other things. If your hands are not too busy, which of course I'm saying that, not too busy. I want, when I say resounding, I mean resounding applause till he gets here. For the principal of Rainbow College, Mr. Adishino Okunubi. Please encourage the man. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. So, sir, it's Rainbow College.
Yes.
Rainbow College, right?
Yes.
So, is it an all boys school or mixed school?
It's a mixed school.
So, how do you handle some certain issues? Parents are not always around, and the responsibility is on you as the. I always say, in that, as principal, you're also like a father figure to the entire pupils or students in the school. So, how do you handle when you get some? I'm sure that you've handled some queer, crazy cases in school that you were not expected to handle, but it just comes on like that, boom. Child gets abused, the boy student misbehaves, and it goes beyond what you ever imagined. And you begin to ask, does this child really have a parent? Was this child really trained? And you begin to think, am I going to throw the blame at the doorstep of the parents, or am I going to throw the parents at the blame at the doorstep of the guardian? How do you handle such issues?
First and foremost, the key issue is to always remember that every child is an individual. Whether he or she comes from a home, the child is an individual. And most cases, children take their own decision, irrespective of the training they have from home. So, peer influence, personal decisions, it's always things that we have to look out for. So you are expecting the worst, and when you get the best, you appreciate from every child. And that is the key thing.
Well, thank you very much for that diplomatic and political answer. Because, you know, when you ask, if you ask me now, do you understand, I'll go. But also, the mic is yours. Go ahead, please say what you have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Voice. I'm very sure most people don't know him as Mr. Voice, Shagun Arize. I'm here to speak about something that most of us in Nigeria are very, very unappreciative of. We send children to school so early in life when that child is yet not formed, not made, cannot decipher the major reason why you are sending that child to school. In this country, unlike other countries where we say better climes, you send a child to school in age 2. What does that child know? You send a child to school, you say kindergarten, age 3, age 4, you're already in primary school. And you find out that at the end of each tier of life, the child has not even completed primary 4, secondary school. The child at age 10 is already in SS1. At 13, you are thinking of university. The child may be big physically, mentally alert, but emotionally unprepared. In so many countries, you find out that every curriculum is based on the chronological age and the mental age. So when you talk about IQ, the major definition of IQ is your chronological age divided by your mental age. And every curriculum that has been built in any country is based on IQ. So you expect somebody at the age of 18 to be taking SAT. But most Nigerians at 15, they're already taking SAT. And you say they are good. Yes, mentally they are sharp. But are they ready? So when you are thinking about children, why are we rushing them into adulthood, into maturity, when they never had their childhood? when they never had their kiddies' age. When a child that is supposed to be a child, you're already preparing that child for adulthood. Where are we rushing to? And that is the peculiarity and the situation most of these children find themselves. They are ill-prepared for what they are facing because, yes, they are big physically. Body-wise, they are mature. But are they mentally and emotionally stable for what you are pushing them through? So most of them, they don't break so early because most Nigerians are resilient. They don't break so early, but you get to university. At the age of 17, they break. They go into drugs, they go into alcohol, and they start depression. And because they cannot handle it, they allow their peers to influence them. And it is worse off. For we boys, we go into drugs and pimping. For girls, they go into aristo. They go into Olosho. Because they just wanted something to push them, an outer joy. But something inner is missing. So why are we pushing our children? Yes, we've seen a prodigies in the art world, in the musical world, in the artistry. We see a lot of prodigies. People who can do things that are mentally beyond their age. So you can see a child musically very active. You can see a child very, very mature in acting. And you see so many of those things. But are they academically? Yes, they may be able to pass your exams. But are they ready for the next step? Why are we pushing them? And that is my talk this evening, that we should think carefully about where we are rushing these children to and what adverse effects we are creating on them. Because we are creating a kind of pressure on them. We are looking at our friends. My child is in prison at the age of 15. We're looking at our peers. My daughter is in Covenant at Soso. My daughter is doing law. My child is doing engineering. But you are not yet thinking about your own child. In Nigeria, like in every contemporary society, our curriculum is based on age. 6, 3, 3, 4. That means no child should join primary school until age 6. Should not enter secondary school until age 12. Granted that we are not in a hurry, the economy is bad, we are so insecure, we don't know tomorrow. Let's say 11. By 15, 16, we are still supposed to get to SS2. 17, graduate from secondary school and move on to university. In our days, we did A-levels, 2 years of A-levels to prepare us. You see most of us now, because we are so endowed and opportuned, what do? We take our children to schools and do 6 months or 8 months of A-levels. We call it AS. Or rather than do A-levels of 2 years, we do international baccalaureate of 1 year, or we do foundation of 8 months. And we push them. Why are we in a hurry? At the end of the day, most of these children graduate and they have nothing to do. And we still have to baby them because they are still with us at home. We still give them allowances at 18, at 22, because they've got no job to do. We are the one that is chasing job for them. My parents never chased any job for me, because I was fully mature before graduating. I chased every job I've ever gotten in life. But you now see us using our connection to get them a job. But are they even emotionally stable? Most of them are emotionally, what? Immature. So, when you say emotional intelligence, they don't have it. They speak anyhow to. They talk down on their supervisors, and they let the whole world know that they can't be bothered with all this, your 200,000 that you are paying me, if they ever get that. Because the parents are still giving them allowance of 300,000. So they are not ready for the world. because they are not mature. We have not allowed them to actually grow. Let us allow our children to enjoy their babyhood. Let us allow them to enjoy their childhood. Let us allow them to enjoy their adolescent age. When they mature and they enter university, they can actually say no. That's the most difficult, shortest, and the longest sentence any human being can give. No. But most of us don't have that ability to say no. So everything is yes. Yes, until we break. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, I just want to advocate that let the children enjoy have their youth. Let them have their childhood. Let them have their life. And let them grow at their own pace. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If I may say so, if you want to ask me any question, please go ahead. I don't think this is prepared, but definitely I would like to take some questions. Anybody? Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't push your children through school. Please, let them move at their pace. It is well with all of us. Thank you. Mr. Arinze.
Bit where we go interactive. I'm sure we've heard from Hanatu, we've heard from Norbert Young, now we've also heard from Mr. Additional. But I'd like to also get your opinions as parents. There's a saying in Africa that once you have a child, the child is not just only yours, but the child is for the entire community. Because the plan is to grow the child, and the child will be beneficial to the entire community. So that child goes off your hands as the child gets to of understanding. It's not a me thing now, it's a we with him. So the child begins to think at the level of collective responsibility, not individual responsibility. Yeah, as much as the child has that individual responsibility, he knows that I owe myself this. But there's also that communal responsibility to affect every other person's life, because life is cyclical. It's generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. Just it keeps going like in circle. And sometimes you see the child and say, you behave like your father. You're the true son of your father. You're the true daughter of your mother. You're like your mother. Or sometimes you see that the daughter behaves more like the father, and the son behaves like the mother. So it just the genes the change. So we're going to have a small discussion in that wise. What in this instance we're going to focus more on the male child, because it's all about Father's Day and what the father owes as the responsibility towards his son. So I'm going to ask a few questions here and there. Is it proper? I will start with the females. Is it proper for a son to witness abuse? And how will that impact on that child, on that boy? He witnesses every time there isn't love lost in that house. It's, come on, get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. The father wants to assert himself, or the mother wants to assert herself. And in the process, there is that debacle, that quarrel, that, what we call the abuse and all that. How do we handle that situation when the son, I'm emphasizing on the son. How do we handle the situation when the son says that and he begins to lose hope that the father figure, the hero that he sees, is not actually the hero that he expects?
for me, like begets like. When a young boy is exposed to that kind of environment, that's the culture in his environment, you know, and he imbibes that culture. You understand? And it's forming who he's going to become. You know, so it's a tough one. It's a tough situation. Well, two things come to mind. In Yoruba, they say when you give birth to a child, that child should also rebirth himself. You understand? You understand? So sometimes a child is able to reorganize himself, reorganize his thoughts, you know, and get himself back on the right path. You understand? So that's one angle for me. The second angle,
You want to help out?
Yes, sometimes you have mentors around. Like you have a neighbor who you like the way he behaves to, you know, his wife and the people around him. Sometimes the mother has to deliberately bring in another father figure, uncles, you know, great uncles, people around the family who can help put the child on the right path and know that, well, things don't always have to be like this. Thank you.
That's nice. The absence of a father figure. We all see that it's so prevalent sometimes in our situation, the absence of a father figure. Even though the father is there, he's alive, but that role which he's supposed to play is missing. So how do we handle that?
Well, that question, maybe you should have asked me that question. The reason I said that is because I lost my dad when I was 3 months old. So there was no father figure. So I was raised all through by my mom. Do you understand? So, of course, I have a few uncles and, you know, brothers and all that, siblings, you know, so I look at them. But really, for me, what we put into a boy, like, let me just put it this way, the way my mom raised me. Do you understand? She pointed me to people that are, my uncles that are doing well. And again, she taught me first how to love. Do you understand? That was what my mom taught me. She taught me how to love first. So if we're able to let our boy child know how to love, like I will tell you, love, it's very, very key. Because when you love, there's a number of things that you will probably put your hands into. Do you understand? So I was taught how to love first. So I know that if I love you, I won't do this. If I love this society, I won't do this. And do you understand? Just things like that. And that's what helped me. And that's what actually been able to also make me know who and who to channel my life path towards. Thank you.
Nice one. Very nice. Love. I picked up the word love there. Unfortunately, but you've done so well for yourself. We've seen the outcome of it. Mother trained you. Mother brought you up. I'm sure that you've seen the movie Akila and the Bee. Who has seen Akila and the Bee here? Akila and the Bee. When she had issues, there was no father figure there, only the mom. And she had to go take part in the spelling bee. And what was the result? 1,000 teachers. 1,000 teachers had to teach her. So what happened? The entire community. And that comes out of that word you said, love. So when you say love, It's a key word. Many homes are just there without that word, love. So when it comes to the issue of father, and we say love, the love is not there. The father is not showing love for the mother. The father is not showing love for the children. Agape love. How do you cope with that? Hello, I'm sure you're a mother. How do you cope with that? Did you hear what I just said?
The fact remains that as a girl child, as a mother of 2 girls, I happen to be my father's favorites. Everybody knows that if you want to get to me, get to my father, then you will see the other side of me. My father has shown us love from, okay, maybe because my father is Abigail's. If you say the word Abigail's means he has 4 girls, all his children are girls. So he called himself Abigail's. So he has shown us the love from when we were small. And up to now, we grew up with that. My father is 78 years old. But if you see us cuddling him the way we are 4 girls all married, but you see us with our father now, you see one plaiting the mustache, one plaiting the head, one plaiting that. And my mother is always jealous. Why is everybody tinted towards the father? But because the father has shown us love from there. So we grew back to give him back the love. So most homes, it now depends on how you train your children from cradle. There's some people in the society now that can't even talk to their father. They talk to their father through their mothers. You can't face your father and say, Dad, I need this. Because they will not ask you, how are you seeing his face first? You first look at the mood. Can we talk to this father today? Mom, can we talk to your husband? But the case is different in my own home. We talk to my mother through her father. My father was like, if you're going out, if I'm telling my father, if my father is telling you, yeah, Miss, are you going for external affairs or internal affairs? You understand our language. Are you going for external affairs or internal affairs? My mother doesn't understand that. So we are girls, we cuddle around my father. So if fathers could emulate that, the love will spread in the society. Most fathers should not see themselves as the field marshal in the home. Let your children have free access to you. Let them have free access to talk to you. My father bought the first pad that I used for my menstruation, even without my mother's knowledge that I started my period. I'm 45 when I started at 12. My father knows the way around it. Well, like, yeah, Missy, look at the dates. If my mother was like, date kini. So the father knows it more than the mother. That shows the love in the family. And up to now, the children, the grandchildren are taking that love. So I will employ fathers here. Let your children transfer the love you have for your wife at first. Forget the field marshal that you are the man in the house. We all know you are the man in the house, and that is why we are celebrating you today. But pass those love to the children, so that the children too, because the boys that are being abused now, they become abusers later in future too. So show them love so that they can show their wives love too, and society will be better for it. Thank you.
That's the first time I'm hearing applause. Show them love. So let's talk about how does it feel when the father is not there and you have to cope with the kids and you do not get the required support and love that you expect from the father. How do you cope with that?
This question is very personal. Okay, so I'm a mother of...
Your 2022 will not be...
And their father is away. Okay, so I'm a single mom. I'm the mom and dad. Thank you, darling. So coping with children, especially when their dad is not there, can be very, very draining, very tiring. Sometimes you just want to give up. But my mother would say, you pray. You find your solace in prayer. You find your solace with God. Then I have uncles, I have pastors, so sometimes when I'm going through this difficult situation, I just call. Like for my son, he asked some questions that I cannot answer because I don't even know the answers to these questions. So what I do is, Google is my friend. And I also have some mentors. I have some people I look up to. I have some uncles, some very good male friends that I just call and say, please, my son is doing this. What do I do? How do I address this issue? How do I undo it? And it has been great. It's been great. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yes, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I thoroughly understand what you spoke of. My father died when I was 10 years old. I was the last child of 8 children. My mother was a nurse. And as at the time my father died in 1969, only 2 of my elder sisters were out of school. So the only thing I remember was we were not paying house rent because we lived in our own house. I still do not know how my mother coped with at least training 6 children all through secondary school. When I begin to think of it now, I want to cry because in that little salary she was earning, I was still stealing out of it. You know? So I'm getting really emotional right here. So I understand what you're saying. And you know, I never lacked. I never lacked. You know, I went to school. A lot of people whose fathers and mothers were present did not go to secondary school because they said there was no money. Okay.
I totally understand that. Totally understand that. Mr. Adebayo, in all of this, mother coping without the father figure, father doing all he has to do without the mother figure there, and trying to be the dad and being the mother at the same time, because it swings both ways. And having a child that you think is so intelligent, and just because you think the child is intelligent, and you begin to wonder, I need to get this child to a certain point at a certain time. And so what does that translate to? The boy child is horrid. What do you have to say about the boy child being horrid in school, the horrid male child?
Thank you so much. The issue of horrid child, the syndrome is becoming more prominent as the day rolls by, especially in a modern society. Science taught us that every human being is made up of 3 domains. You have the cognitive that has to do with your level of intelligence. You have the psychomotor that deals with how you use part of your body. And then you have the affective domain, which has to do with love, affection, and the way you relate. And science taught us as well that of these 3 domains, the one that developed fastest is the cognitive domain. But unfortunately, that is what many people see and they emphasize. The moment a child begins to go to school, even before they go to school, they show some uncommon knowledge. They say things, and we believe that they have arrived. It is not new to see a child of 3 or 4 or 5 saying things that parents don't know, even when they were 15 or 20. I see 18. No wonder UNESCO says that everyone below 18 is a child. So that is why you cannot vote until you are 18. You cannot own a driver's license until you are 18. That's how a teacher determines what activity to give to a child. At another time, they ask you to hop on one leg so that they want to know whether you can balance yourself. It has to do with age. There is a difference between growth and maturity. A lot of our children are growing, But you don't wait to see their maturity. So, and they all have consequences. Consequences. When we rush a child through schooling, ordinarily university is not meant for children. But you see a 14-year-old child in the university where adults should be. So some people who enter the university at 24, at 25, they're already matured. Now, put a 14-year-old girl with a 21-year-old boy in the same class. Their reasoning faculty is not the same. The other one may score all these tests. This one may be struggling. But when it comes to understanding life, emotional stability, the one that is more mature, that is older, will demonstrate better understanding of life. So where the younger one gets frustrated, the one that is older will be resilient. So a lot of problems we have in society today is determined by at what age do we send our children to school. We often see in our schools today where an 8-year-old girl or a boy is writing common entrance examination to secondary school. 8-year-old, supposed to be in primary 2 ordinarily. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, he's supposed to be in the primary 2. Primary 2. Some people enter university at 14. When they ordinarily are supposed to leave primary school at 12. They are supposed to be in GS2. They are now in the university. They will cope with the academic. They can make first class in everything. But when they are confronted with the problems of life, they lose it all. They can't understand it. And very many of them, they are easily influenced. A little threat in the school, they will give in. So, either single parents, either combined parents, we need to respect the knowledge of teachers. You may be an engineer, you may be a medical doctor, you may be whatever. You can even be a professor. You need to give in to the advice of the school. We're actually rushing these children to nowhere. Very many of them, when they graduate, we begin to pray for husbands for them. They get worried easily. Then the question is, are they not really children? I wonder why an 18-year-old girl, lady, or 19, will be getting worried that she has not got married. They get worried easily. And when you ask the mother, possibly the mother did not get married until she's 30. But today, they say, oh, by the time I'm 25, I will have had all my children. That's their priority. So, it is always good for parent, male and female, to ask questions. Let us ask the technocrats. I have conducted a lot of research works into why parents rush their children to school through schooling. And the answer that comes prominently is pride. People love to say, my child entered university at 11. Another one will say, my own will enter at 9. Not minding, what do I gain from this? What does this bring back to me? It's of no value. Either your child graduates at 4 or 7 or 10 or 11. It does not really make a difference. We may have one or two that are exceptional. We have exceptional children who will excel, who will cope, whatever age. They may falter a little bit, they will not fall. But that is just 1 out of 1,000. Just one. And you never can tell whether your child is not that one. You never can tell. A lot of parents have inadvertently ruined good lives. The children are very good. They come out strong. Teach them. And even private schools are not helping matters. They give double promotion. What many of us do not understand is that the issue of either 6334 or 934 has implication. The implication of 9 is that basic education, the least number of years you can spend in school is 9 years, not less. You can spend 10, you can spend 11, you can even spend 15 years to learn it. It doesn't make a difference. Let me ask us one question. Why do we rush children through primary and secondary school and we don't rush them through universities? You spend 4 years in the university, no matter how brilliant you are, you must stay for that 4 years. Then why rushing a child through primary school and secondary school? There is nothing like double promotion. It is criminal. There is nothing like jumping, writing WASC in SS2 or writing GC in SS2. It is not healthy for these children. There is clear difference between growth and development. Let our children grow and let them develop. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let our children grow and let them develop. We also need to talk about, get a child, hurrying the child through school, gets to university, comes out, and starts a life of his own and wants to get married. Are you going to be marrying a baby, or are you going to marry a teenager? Or I don't know why we do that. Some people do it for the sake of bragging. Oh, my son is in university. And he got into university at the age of 14. Got into university at the age of 14. By the time the child is 19. And sometimes, when you hurry these kids and they get to university, peer pressure begins to play too. And then cultism comes in, faces you, bare face, and say, oh, bros, are they here? Are they wait for you? And because you're a very busy parent, you can't really put your eyes down when your child is in university. It's not like when the child is in secondary school or primary school, you can monitor. But university, it's freedom. He's on his own. The world is a stage. Once you get to that university gate, the world is a stage. We're here. And so how do you handle such issues? I would like to also at this juncture ask that if you're interested, where we use the word if we're interested, we are looking for partners to work with us at the Mother's Love Initiative, people who partner with us on our various projects, particularly talking about the horrid child and talking about the boy child, talking about the girl child. Before you go, we'd like to take some of your phone numbers and addresses so we can talk. We want partners. This is not just a topic for let's just do it now and go. It's a continuum. It just continues every day. It's like life itself. It's cyclical. So it goes round and round and round. We need to keep this topic going. We can't just be waiting for one state government or one federal government to come and do it for us. They will never do it for us. They will, if you expected that, they will never. So it's our function as humans, as we meet, as friends, as colleagues, as NGOs and what have you. So before we go, we would like to take your numbers and your addresses and find ways for synergy as we go along. One thing that, Mr. Mayim, thank you so much for that. One more time, if this microphone goes up one more time, please, I beg of you, if this microphone goes off one more time and you don't hear it and you only hear my voice, please pardon me, because I will commit murder. I will kill the DJ. All right. There's one that we haven't talked about, and that is the boy-father relationship. Most fathers are there. They don't have relationships with their son. They don't. Once you just come in, the son say, hey, how are you? How are you? And goes into the room. He doesn't even stop to even say, hey, what did you do in school today? How's it going? Let's talk about it. Excuse me, I used to be like that too. I'm seriously. Until my wife said, hey, look, let me tell you. These kids are only here for a while. And when they go, only me and you go there for this household. Because that time when you hear, you know what they say, echo. Oh, ho. Only you. And what is echo? It's the retonation of the holla with your holla. You shout and you hear your echo. Only you. The kids will not be with you forever. Once they start getting that level of 17, 18, it's vroom, vroom. At 17, in fact, at 15, it's vroom. At 16, it's vroom, vroom, vroom. At 17, vroom. Once you're 18, vroom, the car goes off. You won't see them. And when they just call you, when are you coming home, Dad? I'm hanging out with my friends. I'll see you soon. That's the end. I remember I left home at 18. When Songwater, I told my dad, full stop. I think I want to carry on my life from here. And that's how I did. What is the relationship between a father and the son? I think we're lacking that. Seriously lacking that. So, Mr. A.B., what do you think about it?
Thank you very much. And that's a beautiful question. I think, first of all, you don't need to judge yourself if you don't have so much time to spend with the children, because you should also balance things. Because if you're always there and you can't provide for the children, it's a problem. It's a big problem. So you must find that balance in between creating the time to bond with your children and also being the man of the home that provides for the home. It's very important. But one of the things that I did in order to create that bonding with my son was that I insisted on taking him to school every morning. Most of the morning, I drove him to school myself. Even if there were a driver, I would be in that car, he would drive, but we'll all go to the school first. That gave me at least 1 hour to spend with my son every single day of the week. And a lot of times, I also insisted on going to pick him from school. That is magical. If every parent, and I know this is not very possible because of the way, the schedules are, but if it is possible for you to do that, do it every day. It's magical. You see, because relationship is founded on experiences. The experience you create, fun times, bad times, memories that you create, is what will stay with that boy forever. Sometimes, we're privileged to travel sometimes. We've had to go out together, and my son is here anyway, and we had to find some restaurants together when we wanted somewhere to eat in Cardiff. And we found, what's the name of that place again? We found Red Hot. Okay, so we had this bonding together, looking for the right restaurant to eat. So eventually, we bump into this very beautiful restaurant that had an array of food. And he likes food. I like food too. So Indian cuisine, Thai cuisine, English cuisine, and it was such a wonderful experience. So every day, or any time we want to just have a good time, we relive those experiences. Finding that restaurant. And he would reiterate all the time, anytime we travel, we are going to look for Red Hot. So you see, these kinds of experiences, these kinds of situations create memories. And those memories would never leave that boy or leave that girl. So when they try to walk away, or when they go away, of course, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says they train up a child in the way that he should go. When he grows up, he will not depart from it. I know that's talking about precepts and examples, but give the child enough memories. When he grows up, he will not forget those memories. He would always remember them. That would always draw him back to his father. No matter where he goes to, he will remember, oh, we had fun at the beach. We had fun here. My son would ask me all kinds of questions. And usually when I'm taking him to school or bringing him back home. And those were the things, the answers I gave. Critical things that formed his attitude. You see, you need to catch him when he is young. And you don't need to leave him to Google. Don't leave him to Google, because Google is adulterated today. Don't leave him to Instagram. Don't leave him to Facebook. And I have nothing against those things. But there's a whole lot of adulteration of information in those media that you see. Of course, you are aware, and I have really nothing against same-sex marriage and all that. But I'm a Christian, and I have to talk from that position. That's not what I want for my child.
And I would not leave him to the information on that highway, because the information on that highway accepts that and makes it look as normal. So I wouldn't let him go there and consume all of that information. I am his information bank. Period. He wants anything, he would ask Daddy first. Because Daddy has lived through it, and Daddy is able to decipher which one is correct and which one is wrong according to my belief. Bible says that God loved Abraham because he was so sure that Abraham will pass the information he's giving to his child. That's the most critical thing that God is looking for when he's looking at a father. How are you replicating yourself in your child? Now, if you can't do that, if you're too busy to do that, sorry, then you shouldn't have a child. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's really, really deep. Very deep. I'm still talking about, we're coming to the words shortly. Still talking about father-son relationship. There's this one that really bothers me because I've gone through it. But I'd like to get a perspective. You have a son? How old is he?
I actually have two of them. One is 13 and one is 10.
Oh, good, so good. So we're in the same boat. Talking about son-father relationship. When the son begins to, at a certain point in time, begins to change in terms of physical, things that begin to happen. The son wakes up one morning, looks below, and there's some hair growing. And he begins to ask questions. Dad, what's this? You're laughing. But I'm telling you the honest truth, my wife did that to me. She said, your son is growing hair. That's not my duty to go and tell him how to clean up that place. That's your job. And I was asking myself, hey, woman, wait. You mean I should ask myself, hey, son, what's going on down there? No. So how do you handle that situation?
Well, I think it's easier for us being men because you'll now be talking to him as in man to man. And I can remember very well when my wife did the same thing to me, actually, because she informed me, have you noticed something? I'm like, guy, I don't go to that guy's room. I don't just with them. And she was like, you need to pay a visit. So I actually did. And when I saw it, I think it was easier for me because we're like, I'm like their role model in the sense that they come to me for everything. So they ask questions a whole lot. So it wasn't difficult for me to explain it to him and to show him how it's done. So I actually got a shaving stick, and I had to show him the way the blade goes and this is how it's done. And be careful, please, because that place is delicate. So I had to, explain to them. But it was a whole lot easier because I normally talk to them. We share experiences about life. And let me even add to this. I remember the first time he was asking me about, what was that word? I think wet dreams. It was like he woke up or he read somewhere about wet dreams. And I was like, okay. I know studies, yes, it's supposed to be, it's normal, actually. So don't be afraid of anything, because he woke up and he was like, Daddy, I noticed something. What's happening? I don't know. It's not wee-wee. Did I wee-wee on the bed and everything? I'm like, no, you did not, actually. So we had to talk about those difficult topics that some parents shy away from. Well, I think I've been able to explain it to them in the best of ways. And like the other father said about same-sex marriages, we try to talk about those difficult topics that many other parents shy away from. So for me, it wasn't that difficult, really. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take a cue from that. Thank you so much. Okay, a big round of applause for yourselves. Thank you. You've been wonderful. You've been most wonderful. At this point, we would like to present the awards to this deserving young man. I'd like to call them up first before I'll call for presenters. Sadiq Olayemi. Is he here? Please come out. Is he here? You're Sadiq Olayemi? How old are you?
I'm good.
How old?
22.
All right. Please just stand there. Oni Afi Otulala. Otilola. Atilola, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the writing. Divine Ojunwa. It's Divine Ojunwa here. Is he here? Divine? These are the winners from, where's Divine? These are the winners from the tertiary institution. It's actually in this order. Divine Ojunwa is third. A big round of applause for him. Oni Otilola is second. And Sadiq Olayemi first. Stand this. What school are you?
University of Ibadan.
What are you reading?
Industrial and Production Engineering.
Industrial and Production Engineering. That's a big, you know, Igbos have a saying when they say, that's, you look for a puppy and you give the puppy is just a puppy, innocent puppy on its own, no, just been delivered, oh, I know, call the puppy, they'll call him Angel Gabriel. So that's big name. He now goes with that responsibility. But how is it reading that course?
It's been wonderful.
Are you a final year?
No, semi-finalist.
Semi-finalist. So how's it been for you?
It's been fine, except for the ASU strikes.
Oh, please let's not talk about that. Outside ASU strike and all that, are there other talents that you have outside what you're reading and ASU strike?
I love writing. I love it so much, and I try to invest so much energy in it.
When you say writing, the different kinds of writing, you're writing a novel, or you're writing a script, or you're writing a commercial, which would?
Any form of writing. It's kind of natural.
Any form of writing is kind of natural. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best of luck with that. And you, what are you reading and which school?
University of Ibadan.
Okay. 12 in the day, Ibadan. Okay. Do you know each other? Okay. So, what are you reading?
Medicine and surgery.
What?
Medicine and surgery.
I'll leave you. So, is it interested?
Yeah, he's interesting. Just this job to country. Like,
It's
not fun studying medicine in Nigeria.
It's not fun. Nigeria. Why? Because the facilities are not there, teaching.
Good, but the time and the stress and everything.
How many years?
For my...
Yeah, for your course.
Yeah, 6 years, but it's not in Nigeria. Like 8 now, going to 8.
You go to 8 years? I hope you don't turn out to be Methuselah before you finish. No, it's not a funny matter. It's not a joke. That it's the height of irresponsibility on the part of government. How can you find intelligent boys like this? I know that thing they say that the devil's workshop, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. You don't leave people like this and they're on, and the ASU are on strike and teachers are just there. The students are idle, doing nothing. Unfortunately, I have a daughter who is about graduating. And all they're thinking about is how to win the next election, for crying out loud. And spending millions and billions to get to that seat. Go punish them. It's a big shame. Successful disaster in this country. So tell me, why won't there be brain drain? People want to seek greener pastures. Look at what the young man is saying. It's frustrating. 8 years for a course that should be normally 6 years. Sad. I'm really pissed off. But that doesn't stop us from giving you a prize. Really. I would like to call on Mrs. A.B. to please come help us with the prize for the tertiary institution. Mona clap now. Also would like to call on Mrs. Hanatu. Where are you? Abdul, where are you? Yes, so third place is tertiary is Divine Ojunwa. He's not here, so not taking it away, but accepting on his behalf. Bob, keep, whenever he comes, you give it to him. Otilola, please step forward. Atilola. Who wrote this name like this? Congratulations.
This would be a motivation to you, an encouragement to you. You're the one who's in 8 years in school? You're in the third year. I trust that this will be an encouragement to you to keep doing and keep being exceeding expectations in whatever you do. Put your hands together for him, please.
Yeah, you can go to your seat now, and you can go to your seat, Tilola. Sadiq Olayemi for the first position as an HP.
Congratulations to you. How does it feel? I'm sure it feels amazing. This is going to be yours in its entirety. You're the one who likes to write? So please write. Write and write and write some more. Please celebrate him as he receives his gift.
I will call you. Another back, or you can have your seat. Everything you're seeing here is actually a Mother's Love Initiative, wholly financed by a Mother's Love Initiative with no support yet. And that's one of the reasons why we're asking you to please support us. We crave your partnership. We look forward to working with this bigger and better. DJ, how would you like to die? Knife gone? All right, so okay, I would like to call these four for the secondary school. Oguyemi Moshokwe Dancehall High School. Is he here? The young man is looking dapper. Please face the audience. Amuni Awal, Baptist Academy. These are the future of Nigeria. If ASU will cancel their strike. In fact, not if ASU, because ASU don't have any problem. It's if government will own up to its responsibility of paying salary. Last but not least, Lashe David, Rainbow College. Oh, now I know why you're looking like that. What the heck? Fine boy, no pimple. God punish devil. Devil ain't got nothing on you, bro. All right. You know, there was one guy that was in school one time, and the students kept making fun of his name. And the guy got very, very, very angry and went straight to the principal's office and said, "Excuse me, sir. The students are making fun of my name." The principal said, "What? Making fun of your name? Why? Why would they make fun of your name? What is your name? And how do you pronounce it?" Sir, it's Adeyemi. Can I go and call them? Teacher said, "No, don't worry, I'll handle it." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Adeyemi as he comes to help us present this. And why is there no light here? Please, what was God's first statement when he created the world? Let there be light. Please, let's hold on a second. Okay, it doesn't stop us. Clap for yourself. Let there be light. All right, so we will start. Oguyemi Mushokwe. Come forward. No, just stand there. Yeah.
Hello. On behalf of Mother's Love Initiative, I present this token to you. It's a gadget of communication, and writing is part of what you have done well. So you need to send what you do around the world. The sky is open and congratulations.
And in second place In second place is Amuni Awal.
On behalf of Mother's Love Initiative, I present this token to you in appreciation of your writing. You have just started. Please go and do exploits. Congratulations.
And a champion, looking dapper from Rainbow College, in all the splendor, looking wine colors, jacket, bow tie, future husband of many, and all the girls are swooning. Who? Ah. Please welcome Lashe David.
Yeah. I wonder why we don't have girls here today. I wonder, because many competitions are won by girls. I hope girls are on holiday. Well, having said that, on behalf of Mother's Love Initiative, I present this token to you. It's symbolic. This is a tool to the world. We believe that what we have just done is just to unmask a path to greatness. Please use it well. God be with you.
Thank you, sir. You may go sit down. You may go sit down. We'll come back. We'll do the last bit here. Time is fast spent. I'd like to welcome Jude Chukwuka. You're welcome. Also, just to inform you that I have a barber. Sit down, Jude. I have a barber. He's coming to work on you tonight when you're sleeping. We'll shave your hair and dye it black. I'm tired of seeing your ugly mug with white scaring me every night. But it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's late, a bit late for lunch, so I won't say lunch, I'll say dinner itself. Music, we'll be right back. Oh, I didn't say Ebi, I mean Ehi. Okay. Ehi.
Ehi. At the same, all join. It's been a wonderful evening. All right, 2 minutes. Some of those moments were very emotional, you know. This a little contribution and also a recap, like a summary from my own end as I saw everything. Will you all agree with me that communal life in Nigeria is missing? Communal life has gone. The years, the Yoruba people have an adage. They say, "Ẹnì kan ló ń bímọ, gbogbo èèyàn ló ń tọ́mọ." It's no more like that. It's no more like that. Those days, we just go and play, and if the woman in the other house could, all of us would eat there, and our mom won't be angry. There wasn't anything wrong with that. Now we see parents saying, "Don't go here, play there." You know, parents see other people's children misbehaving, they can't see anything. It's too bad. You can see even where we live, criminals, people you may not know they are criminals, strangers hanging around other people, your neighbors' houses, entrances. You can't say, "What are you looking for?" You just enter your house. And the next day you hear they've burgled your neighbor's house and things. It's very disturbing to me that communal life has gone. It's not going, it's gone. You know. Now, the family is a key aspect of the social structure. If anything goes wrong in the family, everything will go wrong in the society. All the people ruling us, they are from homes. You can see the way they are, all the leaders. They came from homes. Most of them, if I have a word that is worse than armed robber, I will use it to describe them. Rituals, everything. These people are from homes. If every parent played his or her role, there won't be ritually, there won't be armed robbers, there won't be Yahoo, there won't be terrorists, there won't be. If all the parents played their role, you know. The family is a key aspect of our social life, and the social structure happens to be the most important aspect of all the structures in humanity, political, legal, economic. When it's the people that came from the social structure that had these other structures, political, legal, and all, and economic. The long and short of what I'm trying to say is that you cannot give what you don't have. It's been a wonderful program. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Thank you.
You initially called me. Let me just say something real quick. I was just thinking, according from what he said. Someone said we're raising kings and maids. The boy child in our homes, he said, you know, these so-called armed robbers that we're calling and we're accusing in government, they were once children, they were born, they were babies. They weren't special, they were normal deliveries, normal children. And all they are is what we have made them be. You know, as they said, you know, example is more potent than precept. Instead of killing them with laws and rules in their teenage or their adulthood, we can start as children and be what we want them to be. I'll tell you a story as I end. My son was in an arts class once. It was a Saturday, a weekend class. And so he sent me a word that he wanted to eat something. He hadn't taken a breakfast, but delayed in school. So I ordered for food from a restaurant beside the school. And I asked the guy to kindly help me take it to him. When he got to him, and they started conversing about things that he's like a young guy in his 20s. These were like 14, 15-year-olds. And I spoke about, you know, Japanese anime, you know, this Japanese cartoon called anime, and his favorite, just like had conversation as the guy gave him his food. When he went back to his class, his classmates, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, said to him, "What were you doing stooping so low to speak to that guy? He's not on your frequency." What frequency? For goodness sake. Frequency of what? Do you work? What do you earn? School fees is being paid for. You don't pay rent. What frequency? But the children asked him that. And the teacher said to him, "Don't mind them, they're all forming." We're not raising a child that has nonsense frequency. I was raised to serve the high and the low. It has served me in the world. So he can give water to the janitor and still give water to his principal. There's no frequency. I'm just saying that this whole thing comes from home. Somebody's son. We are the ones raising those boys. We give them that sense of entitlement. So the boy would eat and would mess up the table. I will not pick his plate. My husband has 6 brothers. The Nigerian mother raised them up by her hand. There was no room for, so he can do everything in the home. And that's not very good because I want to shakara, I want to pretend and do, this can be done. It can be done. The guy can do everything that can be done in the home. He knows what to do. So I cannot bring that, feminine shakara. It's not in my house because he knows the drama now. He can do everything that can be done in a home. I'm just simply saying that it's back to us. We can't depend on the school or the government. Is in your home. That boy in your home. My son finished school last year. And at 16, we said, you know what, you're going to spend 1 year in gap year. It's not gap year of going to school, no academics. It's how to change the gen, how to fix the tire, how to do the tire, the battery, how to wash my plates, how to fix his room, how to drive. Life skills that he will need later in life. When you have a problem with your spouse, not because he didn't come first, he didn't have first class, it's because he's unable to connect with you on that level of spousal and parent. So I'm just saying that it will not come on like that. We have to be intentional. Sometimes he's upset with me. I seize his phone. Like right now he's on the phone fast, so no phone because he disobeyed something. I seize his phone. You can put your face up and put your face down. I am your mother. They're taller. So what? With my short self, I climb my kitchen stool and deal with you when I have to. Hello. I'm saying that as a parent, the world is in our hands. Thank you very much.
No, wow. Well, the interesting part that I like is that we have something in common. We can cook, keep up the house clean. No shakara. No shakara. You can't use me to do shakara. Okay. Time is fast spent. We need to move on. You have 2 minutes. I remember that even your hair and your beard and on it, but you just have 2 minutes right now.
Thank you very much. I can't do this sitting. Let me stand. Good evening, everybody. Yesterday, I had the privilege to respond to National Assembly's position that our industry is the reason why there are ritual killings. I felt very insulted that somebody would create a thing like that and just staple such disgrace on my noble industry. The first thing is this. Most parents have outsourced the training of their children. Today's parents have outsourced the training of their children. So if you outsource the training of your child, you don't expect the child to come out like the child that was brought up by the mother and the father. You understand? And I asked a question. Before the child gets to that age where film makes sense to him, the child has gone through, can I say 4 or 5 agents of socialization? Basically, the family, then the place of worship, then the school, then the finding your frequency level. You understand? These are very strong agents of socialization. If a child goes through all of this, the child would have defined boundaries for himself or herself. What you've not seen your mother do, you can't experiment. You understand? I remember the first time somebody said I should drink beer. I was so happy because that's what they do in my house. But I didn't have the opportunity to do it in the house because they will give me knock. You understand? Now, there is a corollary to it. If my father had not been drinking beer, I would not know about beer. Because it was introduced to like 4 of us at 13. And the first guy just did like, wow, what's this one? Apparently, they don't drink such things in their house. So when it got to my turn, I took the first cup, I took the second cup, and the guy grabbed the third one from me. You know, that is what we are talking about. My son doesn't know about beer because I made it a standard in my house. He doesn't know. My younger brother got all of these other vices from me, but he dropped it before me. I thank God he did. So what am I saying? I am saying that we owe ourselves the responsibility of bringing our children to the level we want them to be. If you do not do it, and you keep watching societal standards, it will give you heartache when you want to die. I know a school that my children went to. Their logo is train a child, so you won't have to repair an adult. And I took that logo like the mantra of bringing up my children. My children don't lie. I'm not saying they don't lie, but they don't lie to me. Because it's a standard. I tell them, no matter what happens, let me be the one you tell the truth. And I have never regretted training them up that way. Finally, I'd like to say a big thank you to Hannah too. She refuses to flow with the tide. Only a dead fish flows with the tide. You know, with all this talk about female child, even United Nations start a female child program and all of that. It's been a massive distraction. We have left the boys unattended to because there is that global thing on the female child. But it's a massive distraction. There is no child that will not take care of you in old age if you do invest in their lives. I asked National Assembly, when have you seen your sons last? Before primaries, 6 months before now, you have been planning massively how to rig. Now, you have won the primaries. The next step is how to rig the general election. So as it is now, for 1 whole year, you have not been available for your children. Just speaking technically. You have not been available for your children for 1 year. Now, after the election, you stay another 3 months, 4 months, juggling for offices. Is not a lie. After juggling for offices, you begin to see you begin to juggle for which staff should I retain. You know, it's insane and it keeps going, except you deliberately extricate yourself from the system, which most of them cannot do because they have enjoyed the system for so long and they have lived by it. They don't know any other way to live. They rather persist in that direction and end in hell with their children going to hell with them. Sorry, I don't want to end on this sad note. My name still remains Jude Ogomegbunem Nabife Okuwa Diegu Chukuka. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you couldn't resist the temptation to blast politicians. Fine. All of us are very angry. Very, very angry. But today's not for that. Today's for Father's Day. Let's just enjoy and revel in it. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we can start. Yeah. It's a sad situation, but like they say, this country go better. I'd like to call on Sadiq Olayemi. Please come out. Sadiq Olayemi. Tertiary institution, where are you? Also like to call on Otitilola. Atilola, oh God. Bob, did you write this? Who wrote this? Who? Ati Otitilola. Divine. Is Divine here? Divine is not here. Okay. Can the two of you just stay apart from each other? Just stay apart from each other. Just face the audience. Okay. I'd like you to invite your dad. Call his name or whoever is going to, who's standing as a father figure here.
Right. I'm Mr. Sadiq Sulaiman Olaide.
Where is he? Please come forward, sir. Good evening, sir. Okay. Here you go. Say something to your dad. This is a way to honor the parents of these kids who just did themselves very proud by getting awards or prizes. So we decided what best way to say thank you on Father's Day to your dad for encouraging you and for footing the bills. And so what do you want to say to your dad?
Well, it's been a rough ride. I'm no longer a kid, so a lot of things are now, I say a lot of things and things seem different now. I mean, as a child, when you think about some things, you just tend to accept the status quo. Well, maybe it's like that. But as you grow up, you begin to see a lot of perspectives. You see a lot of sides to the story. And then everything the only words I have for him are words of appreciation. And yes, to my dad, they are all words of appreciation. I see his efforts, but I have not particularly been the best son, but I am still trying to model myself after him. And on behalf of a Mother's Love Initiative, I present this award of excellence to my father, Mr. Sadiq Sulaiman Olaide.
Thank you so much. All of them wrote essays about their fathers, and this is what you're seeing this evening. Next is, I'm even so scared to call the name now. Oni Otu Atilola. Atilola. I just get Atilola. Yeah, who is the father figure or who to present?
My father couldn't make it yet today, actually. That's very unfortunate. But His wife is here to represent him. Yeah, I would like to call Mrs. Uni Fatima. Yeah, I would like to say a few things about my parents because I'm very lucky. I have both parents that really help me and they are very supportive. Like, you were talking about rushing a boy child. Actually, I experienced it from my parents. When I was in primary school, I was so vibrant. Like, I had double promotion how many times? Not 3 times. 3 times. My brother said, I'm not rushing. Just leave my child. I'm not rushing. Let it be going. And I see that. Sorry, sir. What's your name, sir? In blue. In blue, Mr. Laim. He said something at the end. He said something I love very much. I would like to read your research about parenting. I'm very, very interested in that. So he said something about being mentally. Sorry, I'm taking your time. He said something about being mentally capable, like that between growth and maturity. And I saw that, like I really see that in my mates in medical school because we have very, very bad students there. Age of 16, they are already in university. And there are people with vibrant jam scores, crazy jam scores. Like, I'm even depressed being with them because scoring 300 plus, I'll still be hiding my results because they are just very good. But I find that they can't handle pressure of medical school. They are not mental. There is some of my mate that scored A in UI is 70. The guy scored 69. He said he has never scored B, and he was at the point of committing suicide. What's the big deal? I feel I feel jam, but I didn't meet up like 3 times, and we move on. So those are the things that my parents actually take their time to bring me up to where I am today. I'm very, very grateful to them. Thank you so much.
Ogunyemi Moshakwe. Please call your dad out. No, invite your dad. Let me say call your dad out. That's call is, English has metamorphosed. Before us, just call your dad to come out. If you call your dad now, it's insult. So please invite your dad out.
Okay, so I would like to invite Dr. Oluwole Ogunyemi to join me. So, okay, on behalf of Mothers Love Initiative, I'd like to present this to him.
We have take picture. Raise it up, take the picture with him. Hold it like this. You see the way the guys are like to my dad.
Okay, so there are some times that, especially when I was in junior school, that's just 3, he used to scold me for some things, and I would just look and say, it's not a big deal now. Why are you taking it so? Yes, even my brother too would say, we'll just forget him, Jerry. Eventually, he'll leave you. But as I entered senior school, and now I'm in SS3, I've actually realized that a lot of those things I was saying before was true. So I just appreciate him.
I told him that this is just the beginning. It's a complimentary effort. So, and that's why I've invited her. So love you.
Thank you. Go back to your seat now. Thank you so much. Amuni Awal.
I would like to invite my dad, Mr. Oladipo Amuni. I don't really have much to say, but like, every time I look back at every argument, every scolding, and like I just look back some of my mates and what they say about their dads and like their relationship, and I'm like, oh, thank God I can't relate to that. So I'm grateful for everything he has told me up till now, and what else to tell me, Sha. On behalf of a Mother's Love Initiative, I present this award to my dad.
Please clap. Thank you. Give that. Thank you. Last but not the least, Lasha David. Ha! Debonair.
I'd like to invite Mr. Tolani David. So there are times, well, all the time when we come back from holiday, like my siblings and I, we're on holiday, so obviously we want to enjoy ourselves. We wake up in the morning, we want to watch TV or something. But like my daddy, when we wake up and he notices what we're about to do, we're like, have you guys read before you want to put on the TV or anything? And then my siblings and I will say to ourselves, Daddy, we've gone to school, we've worked, why are we still reading when we're on holiday? But we just know it's something we have to do as a culture to grow and to be leaders of tomorrow. So on behalf of my siblings and I would like to say how lucky we are to have you as a dad. And our prayer for you and my mom is that you shall reap the fruits of your labor in Jesus' name. So on behalf of a Mother's Love Initiative, I'd like to present this award to you, Mr. Olutolani Olukayede David.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations, all of you. Congratulations to all the fathers. Congratulations. It's been one lovely, lovely time out with you people. I'm so excited that we did this and we did it very well. It may not be perfect. Nothing in life is ever perfect, but at least it's the beginning of something. When you toss a coin, the journey starts. And we've tossed a coin and the journey has started. And we look forward to all of you working with us as we take this to the next level. Before we wrap up, I'd like to call on someone from a Mother's Love Initiative, this time not Hanatu, to just come and say a word or two, just a vote of thanks to say, okay, my friend Bob. We still have 2 awards. Jesus. We still have 2 awards. And I was thinking we're wrapping up. So who are these awards going to? I think I know who. They're not here, but we'll do it. No, don't tell me. I know. Don't tell me. Please, I'd like to call on Wale Soyinka. Please look in the hall. You will see Wale Soyinka. Just look behind you. Professor Wale Soyinka. He's the secretary of NANTAP, National Association of Theatre Practitioners back in the day. But the good thing and the true story is that he was actually mentored by Professor Wale Soyinka. And that's not a joke. I will let him tell you the rest of the story. Those days, when I got to Ife, Wale Soyinka was just leaving, and we had Professor Femi Oshofsto. So, Ife, everybody, you go serve. Okay, yes, Ife. And he tagged along with Professor Wale Soyinka. Everywhere Professor Wale Soyinka went, he went. And he became like a son. Okay.
It has to do with his being a father, actually.
And I will give you a scenario. We were in London and we were strolling on the street. I think it was in, all those tail end of winter when summer is beginning to show up, and we just felt, oh, it is summer, it's bright and all of that. And then I went out without sweatshirt or anything, any cover. We were strolling on the street, myself, Professor Wole Soyinka, Judy Kelly, who was the former director of West Yorkshire Playhouse. And we were going. And all of a sudden, under just 1 second, the weather just switched to extreme this thing. And it was obvious. I was holding it. All the while, Wole Soyinka was looking at me. And at a point, he just stopped on the road. And he just looked at me, very bitter. He said, in your life, you don't come out in Britain, whether summer or whatever, without a cover clothes. In your life, the way he was speaking to me.
That not anything happening to you.
Yes, the people around were looking. He was even about to take off his own this thing. So people around could not quickly. Judy Kelly she took it from her husband and covered me. And Prof, it was until I was covered before Wole Soyinka. You will see it on his face. And the way he can, I've seen this several times. It's not just the one time. I only played that one time. So Wole Soyinka, for me, the other person will be my father. My father, the reason is simple. My father got out of his marriage. He separated because he told my mother that 3 is enough for him. He would not want to bring any child to life that won't be able to commit to. That 3 is enough. And my mother's family, they were like, and the man said, okay. He traveled up north. He left everything. Honestly, until the day he died, he never married.
Please come forward. Makinde, I know Wole Soyinka is a father figure to you. How has it been with working with him all these years? I know you didn't take all the other nuances from me. You know the other nuances, like, you try not to. When we talk one way, you're like, exactly.
Thank you so much. Funny enough, earlier today, I was somewhere. We were just having talks about general talk, and something came up. The same narration I did there about Wole Soyinka was exactly what I gave. I said, look, it takes a lot. A lot of us know the scholarly part of Wole Soyinka, and that's what we talk about often. That's what we branded almost everywhere. The fatherly side of Wole Soyinka is bigger, far, far bigger than the scholarly side. And that is one of the, if you decode his life, his fighting, he's consistently being father at every situation. This must not happen to people. This has to be this way. That's what you see. Working with him has been, I will tell you, it opened me to the world, and I saw life differently. I was in exile with him. So I was the most junior in that exile of all of us who were mistakenly. Not that I intentionally went into that exile. No, mistakenly. Because I was one of those actors that were invited then to the US, West Yorkshire Playhouse, to perform a play. As soon as I left Ife, they gave me a script. A director came from England, did audition here, and few of us were selected to Lagos. For me, as an actor, we are just going to England. I just finished school, so go to England, go and rest. I didn't bother to ask the name of the writer. I didn't bother anything. As long as London is involved, let's go. Until we got down Leeds, and then they now gave us the cover of the script. Then they could not bring
the script with the name on it. So we didn't know. I didn't bother to ask until we got there and they gave us the original script. And I saw Wole Soyinka from that moment on. And Judy Kelly now announced that Wole Soyinka will be coming around tomorrow to the theater. From that moment on, I started shaking. Because in my head, I was trying to process how to meet with him. Whether, you know, I was rehearsing without anybody knowing. And finally, when it got to the exact time he would come in, you know, it was Tunji Oyelano, Uncle Tunji Oyelano, who saw him at the entrance of the theater. And then he rushed back because he was an underground rehearsing. He rushed back to come and inform the rest of us. Kongi is around. Kongi is around. Oga is around. And right there, I stood up. I was in winter. There was sweat all over me. That, how am I going to greet this man now? What should I do? How can I present myself? What's going to happen now? And then we all were around. As soon as he came into that, into our presence, where everybody, we stood up. Almost all of us Nigerians, with the white and all of them, almost all of us, we stood up. And some part of us who knew the code did the... And then he went round, one after the other. The one thing you will give to him is that his knowledge is beyond, I read book, I know book. It's a gift. It's a gift. Don't try to. It's a gift. And then he went round, shaking everybody, greeting, familiarization, and all of that. And when it got to me, he stood. Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to prostrate or to shake. So I was doing the two at the same time. So he stood. He was looking at me directly. And then he looked directly into my eyes. And then he moved. He didn't say anything. Later that evening, he told Uncle Oyelano, Tunji Oyelano, to bring me to his apartment. And then we got the talking. And then I was exposed to several other things across the world. Across the world. I went across the world with him. Working with him, one good thing is that even when you sit at a table and there is an argument, and that argument is the most senior on that table, I mean, in our culture, what he says, with his knowledge, Wole Soyinka will, even when you are spewing rubbish, he will never tell you, shut up. And all of that. No. He will listen to you. And his face is masked. Sure you know. It doesn't, nothing you can read on his face. He will look at you, and then he will give his own position. It is you who have said rubbish, that you have said rubbish when he gives his own position.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Mr. A.B. to please come forward. Hello, please do all the honors of present. Father figure Wole Soyinka to Makinde.
All right. Thank you. On behalf of Mothers Love Initiative, I'd like to present this award to Professor Wole Soyinka for being a father figure. We all respect him. Please let him know that he has been such a wonderful figure that we look up to when it comes to integrity. Please let him know that we are proud of him and that what he has brought to this country is something that will last for a in fact, would not die. Thank you very much, and thank you for who he is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Makinde. Thank you. You go back to your seats now. Last but not the least, I just can't wait for us to end this because time is fast spent. Professor Ahmed Yerima. He's not here, but he's somebody I know so well because he was in my department when I was in Ife. 86 when I left school, and at a point in time became head of department for dramatic arts at Ife. He's not here, but all the same, we'll do the honors just as a formality, present the honors, I'll receive it on his behalf, and then we'll pass it on to him. So I'd like to call on Mr. Adeyemi to come and help us do that honor. Mr. Adeyemi, please.
On behalf of Initiative, we give this award of recognition to Professor Ahmad Yerima for his fatherly figure and role he has played in the life of many children, including you. Please send this to him. Thank you so much.
Please keep this, we'll pass it on. All right, we've come to that part. Before I stamp the gavel, is there any... Sorry, they say I should tell the owner of this car, it's EKY808DJ. It's a Sienna. EKY808DJ, a Sienna. So I should tell you that the car has just been stolen from where it parked. Please, can you go move the car before you get hypertension? All right. Is that all? Those who want us to go, say yay. Those who want us not to go, say nay. The eyes have it, okay. All right. On behalf of our Mother's Love, I would like to say Mother's Love Initiative, I would like to say a very big thank you to all of you for finding time to be with us this evening. And to all the fathers, we're very proud of you. We're very proud of ourselves. Thank you so much, all our mothers, sisters, wives, aunties, and nieces. Thank you for all the support you've given us. And to these deserving recipients of this evening's award, the prizes, we say thank you, well deserved, great work, great work. Do we have any other thing to say, Mommy? Okay, Emilio Con. So, we'd like to say thank you. And Natu and I would like to say thank you. And say just one word, say thank you and goodbye.
Mungo de, thank you. How do you say it in Yoruba? Eshego. Ibo is Dalu. God bless you home. Safe trip. In Jesus' name.
So, Shikedang. Asokala here. Say Anjima, say Watarana, Esho. Say Guka. Good night, everybody. Love you all. Thank you. My name is Shagwari. It was nice having you all.